All right, so for this video, I'm going to talk about the idea of third-party thinking when it comes to spirituality. This is a sort of pattern that I just noticed today. I just noticed this pattern today, which is that third-party thinking which is what I call it, is something that is integral to the false spirituality inside of this prison planet, inside of this matrix, right? This idea that your individuality, your innate faculties, your gut instinct, your pattern recognition, your intuitive abilities, your imagination, your sense of self, the ownership over your own soul, that these are all meaningless and that you must replace your thinking with something else, right? And what this started with is I noticed that ChatGPT, right, like the whole using ChatGPT to think for you, right? Like that's a nickname that people give to people who use ChatGPT for everything is third-party thinkers, right? And I was thinking about this, and I noticed that third-party thinking is also a sort of core tenet of mainstream spirituality. Because if you think that using ChatGPT for everything and letting a machine do the thinking for you, then if you think that that's ridiculous, then what is prayer then? What is prayer except but a metaphysical third party thinking, right? Where you allow an entity, whether it's God or Jesus or it's an entity pretending to be Jesus, or you allow spirit guides or ascended masters or guardian angels to do your thinking for you, right? And then this is just something that I've really noticed recently. That this idea of third party thinking is an attack on the individuality of humanity, the individual expression, the tapping in to our intuitive faculties, our innate ability, our innate spirituality, our sense of self, who we are, the nature of what we are, right? That this is something that mainstream spiritual, the censored, doctored, altered mainstream spirituality, and not only of the Abrahamic faiths, but of the New Age religions, they attack that sovereign individuality. They attack the sovereign individual. They attack the sovereign spirituality that is the true spirituality, right? And they replace it with the spirituality written by lizards, right? Because let's be honest, every religious text has been censored or either censored, doctored, or written by a lizard person at this point. I mean, humanity's spirituality is has been altered so much to support the prison planet system. It's been altered so much to support the prison planet. It's been altered so much to support the reincarnation trap. It's been altered so much to support the tyrannies and the suffering that happens on this planet. But going back to the subject of the third party thinking, right? I was thinking about how this idea of praying to God or praying to Jesus or whatever, or even channeling spirit guides or ascended masters or guardian angels, and allowing Chat GPT to do the thinking for you, or even this like new age trend of using Chat GPT to access the Akashic record, or using Chat GPT to contact the higher self, or using Chat GPT to contact spirit guides or to do shadow work or whatever, right? These are all examples in the modern age of third party thinking, of letting something else do the thinking for you, relinquishing your sovereignty, relinquishing your individual self, relinquishing your ability to think critically, your ability to intuitively feel, to intuitively know things. You're relinquishing all this in order to have another entity do the thinking for you. And this is the thing about prayer and contacting entities. If you say if you're praying to God or whatever, right? How do you know that some entity, right, some reptilian entity that is residing in the astral? How do you know that that entity isn't just going to telepathically create a voice in the skull, right? Create a voice in the head saying like, oh, it's me, I'm Jesus, I'm God, or it's me, your guardian angel, or it's me, your spirit guides, right? That telepathic interference with your thoughts, with your inner monologue, can happen if you allow these entities, if you open if you open the door for these entities to come in. That interference with your thought patterns, that telepathic interference with your thought patterns, that is exactly what will happen. And I believe that this is exactly the reason behind prayer. This is the reason behind psychic channeling. And ironically enough, the materialists who use Chat GPT, it's almost like merging with AI is almost like their form of quote unquote salvation or enlightenment, is merging with an AI in a sort of Deus Ex kind of a way. And this goes back to my theory that artificial, like the artificial neural networks, right? Artificial neural networks are empty brains. They're empty vessels for entities to possess. They're empty vessels for these entities. And so I do believe that like the people who talk to ChatGPT in order to contact their higher self, in order to ask for advice from their higher self or whatever, I do believe that there is a ghost in the machine even then, right? So if you relinquish your ability to think, your ability to intuitively know things, if you decided to relinquish the stuff that you have inside and to become a third party thinker, to allow another entity or to allow anything else to do your thinking for you, then you are ensnared, you are trapped in this prison planet, right? And so this is just something that I've noticed just today, that this is an element of the false spirituality. This is a core tenet of the false spirituality that feeds into the prison planet, that feeds into the reincarnation trap. This idea that what's inside is bad and what's outside is good, right? You must relinquish your sovereignty, relinquish your individualities in order to allow another entity to do your thinking for you, to become a hollow vessel to be possessed by these entities, right? So don't relinquish your individuality, don't relinquish your sovereignty, right? Don't become a third party thinker, right? Do your own thinking, do your own research, get in tune with your spiritual faculties, get in tune with your intuitive abilities. Practice gut instinct, practice gut feeling, practice intuitively feeling things out. And I don't mean feeling as an emotional reaction. I mean feeling things out using your intuition. It's a muscle that you can grow the more you use it, right? So yet again, I would say that you should use that. You should use the stuff that you have innately inside of your spirit. You should become familiar with your own true nature instead of relinquishing your individuality to become a third party thinker, allowing a third party, allowing an entity, allowing quote unquote spirit guides, allowing quote unquote Jesus or any AI model to do your thinking for you. That is a trap. That is a huge trap, because that is sort of a way you become sort of a Borg in a way. It's like the Borg from Star Trek, where they merge with a hive mind, right? And so I noticed that there are a lot of parallels between the people who use ChatGPT for everything and people who pray to God or they pray to Jesus for everything, right? And they allow a third party to do their thinking for them, right? That is mind control. That opens the gateway for mind control and for possession. In the New Age sense, it would be psychic channeling. They're allowing another entity inside of them in order to get advice from them, which I think all of that is very dangerous. All of that is a part of the trap. It's a part of the deception that says what's inside is bad and what's outside is good. You need to look to the outside. You need to look to outside entities and outside powers, and you need to just shut up and follow orders because God told you to do it, right? That is the false spirituality that keeps humanity enslaved, right? But yeah, that's third party thinking. You want to avoid it. You want to go within. Don't be a third party thinker. But yeah, that's the video.